duck. Ooh, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, airplanes. It's a duck blur. You might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, ooh, tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. Not ponytails or cottontails, it's DuckTales. Ooh, tales of daring, do bad, and good luck tales. Yo, Scott, the second verse. Ooh, when it seems they're headed for a final curtain.
All right, what's up? Thank you everybody for watching. We are welcome on the block. We're here with what? Are we fucked up? Is your mic muted?
Good. No, I just unmuted it. We're all set in production.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
I thought I was actually doing a decent opening there. I always fuck them up.
It wasn't, then I get to fuck it up.
Anyway.
Wait, stop this really good intro and let me say that it's
Pump the
everything's
brakes.
cool.
All right. Anyway, we got to introduce Audrey so she can start talking. Audrey Middleton, everybody, Big Brother 17. What's up?
How's it going?
So I should have said Audrey Middleton, who brought you the best first week of live feeds in recent memory.
In a long time.
It was awesome. It was awesome. We're gonna get to all that. So Audrey, what's been up since you've been out of the house?
Well, I'm back on my meds. Insert laughing noise.
Okay.
I have just been transitioning back into real life again. I'm still, doing a lot of the press stuff and talking to a lot of people and getting used to my Twitter being active. And so I'm excited.
It's a crazy experience. It's definitely a crazy thing. Spencer, you have your formula of how many ever weeks you're in the house. That's kind of how long it'll take you to adjust when you come out. So maybe that's kind of a good metric.
Yeah. You should have you lost? Did your sleep all fucked up from staying up and different things like that?
Oh, totally. I have PTSD, hardcore. The first night out, I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm at my aunt's house and I'm like, my aunt is fucking teaming up against me in the living room. I can't fucking trust her. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Bring it back down.
Well, there's definitely like a fucking Big Brother PTSD. There really is. It takes you a while for your brain to calm down to sleep again. Normally, you do think when people talk to you, it's a weird thing. There's currency to their information in a way. You wonder what is they trying to get by asking me this? So there's weird things you just kind of have to. There's a readjustment period for sure.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway.
Let's get into it. Like I kind of asked you with our first interview, you kind of got into, you called them ORGs, online something.
Online reality gaming.
Reality gaming, okay. I didn't want to say role-playing game again. It sounded like an idiot.
It's a little bit less dorky than that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it like? It's websites you go to and
these
what's it like?
super fans make these really elaborate websites and pro boards, and they come up with really creative competitions online, and you interact with people from all over the world on Skype, and you really lose sleep just like you do in the real house. These people get really into these games. It's the closest thing you can get to outside of the real house.
Well, now that you've played both.
It's not like, so it's not like when people tweet to me and they're like, favorite this, please. I'm trying to win an HOH competition online or something like that.
It is that. Like that? It is that, yeah.
Yes.
It is that? Okay. So, okay, interesting.
All right, so now that you've, we're going to, of course, jump ahead, but now that you've played both, how do they compare? Is it, is there any sort of comparison?
No, they're totally different. The real Big Brother is so much more hard, and I think that the online games didn't really help me going into the house because they're a faster pace. You're talking to multiple people at a time. You're always talking game because you're all super fans playing, and you're really excited to do it. And I think that definitely didn't help me at
How did you
all.
get into like reality television? Or like where did Big Brother come from? How did you get into it? You know, where did the love come from?
Well, I first fell in love with Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And then after watching season 1 of Survivor, Big Brother came, and then I just fell in love with Big Brother too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which do you
And
prefer? Is that a tough one?
you
You
know,
could skip that
I
one.
feel like they're totally different challenges. Like the strategy is similar, but the elements are different.
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother's
Well,
so much longer, and so I feel like socially it is actually a more difficult game than Survivor.
well, I
But
was
go
about
ahead.
to say
I'm not sure I put on you for Survivor.
for
Go ahead.
just for basically your style of gameplay in the Big Brother house, it was a lot better suited for Survivor. Something that's like 39 days. You know,
Yeah, my
really and
friends.
truly. I mean, that kind of hardcore hit you in the face kind of game that you came out swinging playing
I mean,
would have been.
and let's kind of get into that. You know, you walk into the house. What you got?
Oh, I want to talk about like first off how you're introduced, because first off we were introduced to the cast like this wasn't your like you being the first transgender house guest. You know, it was the way it was presented was they let everybody see the house guest. Nobody said anything. You did your little Jeff thing, like I'm bringing something new to the table with a little twist. I've got little secrets. You know, like after watching it again, I caught that stuff. You know what I mean? But then like TMZ comes out with this article. Did honestly, did you know that was going to happen? Did you know they were going to announce it like that, or did you have any what?
No, I was completely caught off guard. I was totally cut off on press day because it
Sure.
was leaked, and um,
Oh.
so
Oh,
the
it was leaked.
the grand reveal is going to be on the show, and it was. I mean,
Mhm.
TMZ, you know, it's still speculative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, to a point, but it's pretty. You know, I mean, like that's pretty on point. They break news and shit. Like
I mean, they
that's not
broke
something.
the news, but the
It's
article
not
about
something they're going to get
have all
wrong.
the facts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
okay.
no like
Okay.
Yeah.
certainty, I guess. Yeah.
All right, interesting.
So
Interesting.
I mean, all right. So you walk into the house. You're there. You got to the big show. You're walking in. We don't get to see this. We don't. The feeds don't see the first couple days. I don't know how many. It was 7 maybe. Let's just start walking us through that part. You know, where does the game begin for you? What's your first big move? Just kind of take us through what the first couple days look like.
So I walk in the house and I immediately trip into rock bottom. I just like go right to rock bottom. There's no transition. It's just my face hits the pavement as hard as it freaking can.
But why?
And,
What's the
Well,
reason?
yeah. What was the first stumbling block?
in the first like 30 minutes, it's me and Davon and Shelly sitting in the purple room, and we're all just kind of looking at each other, and it's awkward. And you know, we've gotten the introductions out of the way, and we're like, I don't know what else to say. Should we work together?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was totally dumb. But I think that if, you know, if Davon didn't have trust issues with Shelly working with Clay, and Shelly she just mistrusted Davon because Davon mistrusted her, and they could sense that kind of thing once more people came in.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been something solid, but woulda,
Okay,
coulda, shoulda.
Did Davon worry about too many things at once? Did she worry about things that she could sort out week 5 or 6? Would you say that was one of her biggest problems?
Yeah, I would say we're both similar in that way, that we were trying to be proactive and think ahead. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing, but yes, you have to stay grounded and in the moment and worry about your current position too. Because I feel like there's a lot of people left who aren't thinking far enough ahead, and that's why Clay and Shelly are, you know,
So sure.
They are.
I mean, you guys. I think that you kind of hit on a nice point of like I think that you and Davon did play very similar games. And like I even tweeted at one point where I was like, which one's gonna go home first? Because everyone thought you were gonna go home, but I was like, man, Davon is looking in the same position. You guys are the pace gets set really fast. It seems like. Even in the hometown interview, someone says that you really wanted to set the pace of this game. When in this early stages, it definitely seems like when we get the feeds, the game is going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Where does that come from? How did that pace get started? What was your hand in it all?
For all the chaos.
Well, just
Sure.
for like just speed playing, like I don't know.
And I also want to know how Battle of the Block. Find out that the Battle of the Block returned this season. How that impacted your strategy. Because that was really the first thing.
I was not personally excited about Battle of the Block. I was like, oh, great.
The fan favorite? You weren't excited about it? That's how it was introduced as the return of a fan favorite.
Yeah.
We were all like, what? Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand that. But the fans love it apparently. I wasn't excited about it. I was like, great, now I've got to kiss two HOH's asses. And I liked the BB takeover though, because it switched it up. It added a little extra something. But where was takeover when I got evicted?
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna get to that. Sure. Yeah. But the takeover did add a little something. Added Jeff and Jackie from The Amazing Race. You watched The Amazing Race, didn't you? Did you watch their season at all? Okay, so you didn't. So they were just two other people that you had no idea they were. Okay, all right. That's interesting because I think the fact that a lot of people didn't know who the hell they were. I think Steve may have, and a couple other people.
Was the only one.
But yeah, and so like there were just two other people, and that was interesting how they were perceived as not being as close as they actually were, because people were like, these are just two people, who cares about them? And I think that's kind of interesting. But we're going to kind of get to that. You found out they're going to be the fast forward. Jeff, Jackie enter the house. Let's go ahead and get to HOHs. We've got Jason and James are win HOH. What is your relationship with each of them at the point of the HOH victories?
Okay, so first, obviously, I participated in the HOH that James won, and when he won, I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to kiss this camo guy's ass, because he seems totally different from me. I have no idea what's going through his head, what his background is like, or anything, and just all we're doing in first impression is just judging each other, and just assuming, like, oh, this person probably thinks this of me, and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
And so when Jason came in the house, I felt like, okay, we're going to be able to bond. We have a similar cultural background. He's going to understand me and my story. And I am going to have to get close to him, especially when he won. I was like, yes, thank you. And I was even saying that I was going to pull a Marilyn Monroe and sleep with the person in power. That was going to be how I weaseled my way up into the...
I think there's another term. I think there's another term for that. I believe that's called the Amanda Zuckerman as well.
Okay. So yeah, basically, I wasn't like coming on Jason, but I was staying in his bed. I was up talking to him about things, and I was trying to really cement the bond because I knew two HOHs were gonna talk, and I was like, that's my way in. And it was. And the first little goober alliance was formed.
Would that be the High Rollers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. No. It was like the Goonies. It was the Puddin' Pops or something. It's like something really silly every time.
No, who all was the Puddin' Pops now, just so I have it straight?
I think it was me, James, Jason, and Day.
Okay, all right. Because obviously Jason Day were close. I got it. I see how that worked out. Okay, the Puddin' Pops. I didn't know. Interesting. Okay, all right. So Jason's going to put up Becky and John, and James is going to put up Jackie and Steve. So you're happy with these. Do you have a relationship? What's your relationship with these nominees? Are you worried about anything, or is right now, where is your plan working, and how does it fit in with the nominations?
Originally, Jason was going to put up Shelly, and I don't know if it aired or not because I haven't seen all the episodes yet, but he was going to put up Shelly, and then Clay and I were working on them to make sure that, because she was the initial target. She was like the one that had to go. And
why was this?
They felt like they didn't have a connection to her. Jason felt like there was an air of superficiality. She talks to you when she wants something. Now she's only coming up to me for these reasons, and James felt the same way. And so I was just like, I should have just let everything happen or the way it was going to, but I didn't. And so Clay and I were fighting for her. I threw Becky under the bus because Becky had been passively saying multiple times in groups, I'm predicting this showman's Clay and Shelly, putting this target on them. And so I would go to Clay and Shelly and tell them that. Okay. So that way they would be more motivated to help me get a target on Becky. That's how Becky got put up.
Is this so? This is the beginning of your game, really. That's your first try to throw like influence in the game. Is to tell Clay and Shelley, Becky's trying to put a target on you, so you work with them to get her on the block. Okay, okay, good. So that's basically. Would you say that's really your first game move, other than social game?
Yeah, I would say that was like my first game move, and then Clay was a falling out with Davon.
Davon, sure.
And then I'm like, great. I'm trying to honestly, I'm telling both of them to just kiss each other's butts. Like, let's get through these few weeks.
Sure.
And they were both being indifferent. And then Davon wanted to backdoor Clay. And that was just this. After that, it was like a snowball effect of just weird shit that happened.
Exactly. So now correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you obviously were trying to play kind of mediator between Davon and Clay. And basically, Davon realized that you were kind of giving Clay the same lines as that you were giving her, which made her not trust you and not trust Clay. And so this gash was cut wide open, and it wasn't going to heal. Davon was, I believe it to be being stubborn on her and Clay's part, because you really potentially could have had a very big, powerful alliance early on, but it immediately started imploding.
Exactly. And so once they booted Clay out, I had to convince Davon I was on her side. And they wanted to bring in Jeff and Jackie. And then Jeff had been getting close to Clay. And then Clay knew that Jeff and Jackie were in the new group. And then this all led up to when I was the Sandman and took people from their beds and brought them up to the HOH room. It was genuinely to bring people together against Vanessa.
Okay. Yeah, against Vanessa, absolutely, which is kind of interesting. Now, when the Clay Davon stuff happened, you basically you had to like pick which parents you wanted to live with, and you kind of picked Davon instead of picking Clay and Shelley, which was very. It ended up kind of being bad, and then didn't hurt you. It was kind of one of those, an odd thing. But you picked Davon. Why did you pick Davon over Clay and Shelley? Was it because of Jason and that attachment? Yeah. That was okay.
Absolutely, because she was super close with Jason. He's in power. He may stay in power. Jason and James and Davon were all getting really close. Like, I need to stay in that clique because the first HOH is always, that's the longest HOH.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so, I didn't want to go down because I was friends with the person that she had a falling out with. Okay.
And this is interesting to me for this reason, because obviously Jason is going to play into your demise, the trying to get Jason nominated. So we will get to that in just a few. So the Clay Davon things happen. That's fractured. You're trying to pull people together. It's really kind of not working, and there's this kind of a huge juggle of who can we pull in this alliance and get a perfect combo of personalities to make it work. All right. Well, Becky John win Battle of the Block. So we've got Jackie Steve. I'm just going to kind of pull through this, and then we'll start filling in the blanks. So Jackie Steve are still nommed. Steve's going to win the power veto, and Jace is going to get backdoor. He's the renom. So Jace is going to call you out, which is going to cause you lots of problems. Let's talk about getting Jace on the block. Start there. Start with when Steve wins veto, I guess, or whenever the backdoor plan came in.
Honestly, like the backdoor, Jace was the target all along.
Mm-hmm.
Clay was in on it before they even had their falling out. And so this was the plan. Everything was going according to plan. And then the backdoor option kept shifting because Davon kept having a falling out with different people.
Okay.
My perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so then she started to feel indifferent about me, and I could feel it. And that's why I started to really just, kiss up to her and Jason as much as I could.
Okay.
And then Jace goes on the block, and then he just came for me like a bull. That's I was wearing red that day, and he just whoosh.
Now, whose target was Jace? Was it James? Was it the house? Was he just not in the big group and not fitting in because he and Austin's kind of little side project they had going on? He was kind of the odd man out. What was it with Jace, or was he your target? And did you try to influence that? Because I want to know where you came in because he gets after you. So I want to know where your involvement in this whole plan begins.
Right. No, he was totally like in my mind for sure. But it was like a mutual thing that everyone was feeling. And I didn't even have to bring it up to James. It was James's own original thought, like the one original thought he had the whole game.
Yeah, he was spent after like day 13. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was it. But he still wanted to give me the credit and threw me under the bus. And so Jace he was out for my blood.
Okay. What did his blow up towards you? What did that do? Like, where was that in your mind? Because I've had someone come after me in the game. When you get called out, it's a hard thing to handle, and you experienced it a lot. And we're going to get to each of those. But with this one, you can't get called out without it doing some damage to your game. Or I mean, it can either damage your game or it can help you. What did that do to yours? Because obviously you're going to start stumbling and tripping up right here, and there's going to be some problems. So it obviously kind of knocked you on your heels. Tell us about that and what specifically he called out that you're most concerned about. Because one big thing with you is when people would withhold information from you and you couldn't tell what base you needed to cover, you would spin and freak out, okay? Because people say, I know what you did, I know what you said to who, but I'm not going to tell you and throw them under the bus. That kind of shit drives you crazy. So when Jace calls you out, I want to hear what you're going through in your mind trying to figure out where you go from here.
So when Jace calls me out, I'm just like, okay, where the hell is this coming from? And I even was like, okay, there's a great way to squish this problem. Why don't we all just let him know that this isn't that big of a blindside? Like, I really didn't get in James's ear in the last minute. And why is James, a person I'm aligned with, allowing him to believe that? Why isn't anyone saying anything? So that's the point when we were outside on the couch and we had that, altercation. And I was like, look, everybody knew. Everybody knows what's going on. You were the target the whole time. Like, it's not just me. I was really trying to deflect as much as I could, but nobody wanted to jump in the way.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
They were just like, let her go down.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Marshmallows over me. And eating s'mores, and I was just like, are you fucking...
Like, oh, God.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine.
So, well, why this week was Jace more important to get out than Jackie, someone who had basically a pre-existing alliance outside the house with a relationship to Jeff. She was pulled into groups and conversations, but she's obviously not played a big part in this season. And since you didn't really know kind of where they stood, why was Jace more important than Jackie? Because it seems like, to me, Jace could have flipped that. Y'all didn't allow that because it was one of those the house things, which we all know the house is bullshit. So it could have flipped had certain people wanted it to change. It would have the house would have changed and Jackie would have gone home. Why keep Jackie? I want to know what the house was thinking with regards to that.
Because Jackie was kind of off the grid. She was just very vanilla the first week. She didn't talk a lot. It took her a minute to kind of come out of her shell and do her weird thing where she makes noises and jiggles,
Yeah.
And it took her, after, it wasn't even the first week that she did that. And then also, Jace is a great person, but he was difficult to live with. He operated in a different frequency than everyone else.
Yeah.
And so we didn't know how to channel that energy. No one did besides Austin.
Yeah. And that was basically a lot of air guitar. That's right. How they communicate.
A lot of air.
A lot of air. Okay. So Jason's going to go. We're going to go into the next HOH. Shelly and Becky are going to win this HOH. Go ahead, McCrae.
I was going to say, you started saying, when was the time that you predicted? I'm so obsessed with this whole idea that you were predicting stuff, and I know it's bullshit, but what a brilliant damn idea. I wish I would have just been like, oh yeah, duh, I'm psychic. Where did this start? And then I want us to hear I want to hear it all.
Well, it originally started before I did before the Dubob challenge happened. I did have a dream. It was very similar to what the challenge was. And I mean, I've had dreams like that before, and I thought, okay, we'll just give it a shot this time. If it's accurate, then maybe I can become the Big Brother prophet, and just people will come to me and be like, you can't trust that person.
Oracle.
You can't. And that didn't really work out that way.
It kind of worked against you, it seemed like.
I legit had a dream that Jace was at his house, and I was there, and Shelly and I were sitting somewhere watching Jason and a bunch of goop. And there were people there that had a construction map, and they had to build something. And that was like the gist of the dream.
Okay.
Okay.
So then, did you just like after that, were all your dreams? Did you just had to say them all out loud, or were you very selective about what you talked about from your dreams?
Well, no, I felt like Shelly was legitimately eating it up.
Okay.
So I would sell them to her as
Yeah.
often as I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I really thought that she was genuinely like, wait, you had a dream that happened? That's so weird.
Well, it seems like a lot of times they were kind of like talking about like, well, she had a dream, and I was just like, what are you guys doing? This is craziness. Oh, I loved it so much. I thought it was so magical.
Yeah.
It's
That's been amazing. No, I really did want to
Yeah.
get to the point where I could just make them up and they would work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would have been. I mean, still, it still is an awesome legacy. But oh man,
It was funny. It was really funny.
It was super
'Cause
great.
I liked it.
Love
Okay, into week 2, keeping on rolling. Shelly and Becky, HOHs. Okay, you have already been. Has Davon already attacked you? Or when does or I say attack? You know what I mean? Get everybody in the have not room and call you
I
out.
like the word.
Okay. What day was that? Do you remember specifically what day that was?
That was, I think, on day 7.
That was day 7, so that was that early.
Yeah.
Okay. That Jason
We'd already,
and
we'd already chosen, like the nominees were set. For sure, Jace had to go. And then Jace hadn't even gone yet until before I had that blowout with Davon.
Okay. Wow, that was a crazy damn week for you because Jace left day 15, so that was 8 days after before Jace left. So that's kind of crazy to me. Okay, so basically this is interesting because Shelly nominates Davon and John. This is where John starts becoming his professional pun and going to throw the battle of the block role right here. Now this, to me, as somebody that's watching the feeds, keeping up with it pretty strongly. Shelly hated the way Davon attacked you. Shelly hated it.
So
And-
that's genuine because I was wondering, like she came to me and said, you know what, I'm going for her because I didn't think it was fair that no one listened to your side of the story. However, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, that's really sweet and everything, but we're playing Big Brother. Like, are you
Sure.
more worried about Davon because she would legitimately try to split you and your boyfriend up, and you know I wouldn't?
Yeah.
Or like, what was I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, she was sweet to me and she was genuine, but I didn't know that was strategical.
No, absolutely. There was she did want to get she did want to get Davon out. A lot of people, there's this kind of thing like it's one of those, if she'll do that to Audrey, she'll do it to me, that kind of thing. Because really, a lot of things are simple lies that kind of get twisted, get blown out of proportion, and things like that. So, and everybody's lying to everybody, so they know, holy shit, you could just tell Meg I said this or somebody I said that, and then I'm going to be the next one that she's going off on. And I do want to just fucking shoot straight right here. That Shelly was really nervous about sending you home, even though there's a lot of pressure because you'll be the first transgender house guest. She did not. She was afraid of backlash from the fans on that. So
why do you say that?
Is
that what she said on the feeds?
It seemed like she was always alluding to that. And she didn't want to say it explicitly.
It was talked around.
It was talked around. Always like that was what it was in the back of her head, I guess. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll let you talk to her about that. But it was definitely a concern this week. And in all honesty, up until what's going to happen in the following days, really, when you lie to her again and stuff like that, when all that kind of starts happening, you were going to stay around, and I mean you were going to stay around for a long time until you kind of started talking again. And Shelly, you were in, I believe fully that you were fully in Shelly and Clay's plan, and that's an important place to be, and you kind of were there for a while. But we're going to get to that. So Davon is going to go home. It's set in stone from really the beginning. John's going to keep her up there. Now this is a weird thing because Kathy Griffin does the takeover, the last laugh, and there's a phone booth. Kind of tell us about that, the 3 votes. It's odd that they told y'all about that. It's odd that they were going to eliminate 3 votes when there's like 1 million people voting. It's not going to do any good.
Right.
But I still kind of want to know what that played in people's minds, what seeds of deceit you were trying to sow within the house to better position yourself or to further your game, or what things you're doing to pump your brakes. Kind of tell me where you're at as you know that there's a group effort to get Davon out. So in essence, you're safe. What do you do this week?
So even though I'm safe, my first observation is why hasn't Davon had a meltdown yet? She's very calm. And when she had a falling out with Clay, she withdrew from the house. She was quieter, she kept to herself, she slept more, and she went in. And why hasn't it come out? That's what I'm wondering here. And so I felt like, okay, Davon must believe that she has some numbers here. And then I had a conversation with Johnny Mac on the hammock, and he says, Davon approached me and said, I have these people. I have 5 people. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. I'll never tell anyone. And then I ran right upstairs and told Clay and Shelly and Vanessa. And yeah. And so that was also a way for me to kind of keep building trust with them, let them know I'm sharing them with things with them as I'm learning them. And I didn't know if it was true or not. And everybody's actions were so questionable that week. It was really weird. And I felt like I really stayed out of it mostly until the very end. You know, I went to Liz one night and I asked her straight up, I'm like, are you voting to keep her? And Liz or Julia was like, yes, I am. And because she kept me that one week, she saved me on the first week. And so I owe it to her. And then I was like, oh, freaking idiot. And so I ran outside and told Meg, I'm like, Meg, Liz just told me this. This is weird. Maybe you should like just check in with the people on the outside and just make sure that Davon doesn't actually have these people. Because Jeff can also attest. He said he heard somewhere that there were 5 people that she had. And she was totally bluffing. That was her poker thing. She was bluffing.
Okay. What 5 people was she trying to make you think that she had? Or was
she never told me specifically.
Okay.
She never told me specifically, but I assumed James, of course. I assumed Jason, of course. I thought she was working on Austin and Liz, because if Liz was doing something, it's like, okay, where's Austin's head at? And then I thought maybe the other random person was like Becky, or not Becky, Jackie or something.
Okay.
God, how unprofessional, man.
And so I really didn't know. She didn't tell me, and I was just like, okay, all right. And then finally Davon came to me extending an olive branch, and by that I mean like a hug, and you know, what was the point? She wanted to know the point that I crossed her and why. And then at the very end, seemed very genuine and sincere. At the very end, she's like, but throw a sympathy vote my way, though. And
okay.
I'm going to have to plug in my computer in a second. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Worries. Yeah,
hey, if you just want to stop, if you just want to do that real quick, do it.
Okay.
We'll come right back to this.
Okay.
In the meantime, thanks everybody for watching this. Make sure that you're
267 people watching right now. This is madness.
How many?
267 people.
That's crazy.
Madness.
Yeah. Please make sure that you click that subscribe buttle and give us the old thumbs up.
And go follow Audrey at ODDREYM. Audrey M. All right. This little bit of Audrey M. What's up? Vogue a little bit. All right. Well, where were we at, Spencer? Wait. I kind of want to know. Is this around the time where you have the infamous Johnny Mac dream that Johnny Mac is gonna win the whole show?
I made that shit up.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
I was
champion.
I was buttering Jason up so much because I knew Davon was going home and he was going to be alone. I'm like, maybe we can like mend over this. Like, can we trust each other again, please? And I was like, you know, Jason, I gave him this whole speech of like, I really want you to win. And I think you're the best person. You're the super fan. You deserve it.
Yeah.
And I had this dream that Johnny Mac was going to win, and I'm petrified. And you know my dreams are true. So, and I thought that he would think there was some legitimacy to that because he was such a mystery character.
Yeah,
sure.
And Jason he would have like a little bit of paranoia around certain people too, like myself and Davon.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I made that up to try to help me.
Which is awesome. So awesome. Oh, legend status. All right, so Davon goes home.
Yeah, Davon. Yeah, I mean, we've got covered this week. John's going to the POV. Meg's going to go up in the place. There's no reason to send Meg home over Davon. I can't see, I honestly, at this point in the game, there's no reason to even think about sending Meg home. So week 3. All right. Well, we're kind of winding down here. This is going to be interesting because Austin and Vanessa are going to win the HOH. Talk to me about your relationship with Austin. We hadn't mentioned him a whole lot, other than you played a role in sending his alliance member of Shelltown, Jace, home. So tell me about when Austin and Vanessa are HOHs. What do you feel? Tell me about that. Are you scared?
I'm excited. I'm excited at that point because I'd been integrated into Sleeper Cell again. It had woken up from the dead. And so from my understanding, I'm good because Clay's a part of it and Shelly's a part of it and Vanessa and Austin and myself. And for some reason, Liz is on the side. She's the side bae to Sleeper Cell. I don't know why she's not in it, but she's at all the meetings.
Okay, yeah. I got you.
So, yeah, I felt really good going into it. And then I was a little bit skeptical, though, because Clay was really, it seemed like he was gung-hoing for James to win head of household. And I was like, why? What is going through your tiny brain? What is it?
Me and James are best friends. Best friends forever.
So, yeah, that's my answer.
It's okay. All right. So the Austin's going to nominate Jason and Meg. Jason is somebody that you have been trying to build a little bit of a relationship with, especially now that Davon is gone. Vanessa, James, and John. This is the Gronk twist, which the twist was basically to throw kind of annoying parties, and there's a luxury competition. Let's see. John is going to throw the Battle of the Block, and then Johnny Mac's going to win the Power Veto. James and Jeff. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing. Jeff gets put on the block, and this is basically the Vanessa blowing up to him. Kind of talk about this because you wanted this to happen. So let's hear it. Spill it.
Oh, yeah. So originally, when I went to the veto, Vanessa and Austin and Shelly, all the bright players were attending. Mm-hmm. And they were going to throw it because they wanted me to win it. And Vanessa wanted me to keep the nominations the same. So when it actually came to me and Johnny Mac, and I still don't know if this aired either, but my thought process was no. Johnny Mac needs to win and take himself off the block. Vanessa needs to get blood on her hands. And I need to keep reducing my target here. Sure. And if she's going to put up a big fish like Jeff, that is wonderful for me because he's going to be pissed at her and probably Austin and probably Clay because Clay's going to have to choose between James, and I knew for a fact he was going to vote out Jeff. Mm-hmm. So Audrey's going to get to sit back this week. That didn't happen. And so Johnny Mac takes himself off the block. Jeff gets put up, and up until Jeff is put up officially, he's telling everyone whatever he can to get them to go up to Vanessa and convince them to get me out. At least that's what's being told to me.
Okay.
And
well, what do you want to do at that point? I know obviously you want to get to Vanessa's ear, but you also want to talk to other people. There's a lot of damage control when somebody is going around. I always say poisoning the well. And right. What do you do? And did you overplay or not do enough at this point?
No, I want to do nothing. The only person I care about is the HOH, and that's Vanessa. And so I went up there and I gave my plea of, everyone's a liar but me. You can trust me. I wouldn't lie. I've been framed. We're playing Who Framed Roger Rabbit, not Big Brother. And I had given her the tears. I'd worked on Vanessa, and she'd been like, I would be a shitty person if I did this to you, and I'm not going to do this to you. And she's like, I need an excuse. Help me come up with an excuse to get Jeff on the block. And so what happened is her, myself, and Austin were up in the HOH room, and Austin was thinking about just confronting him. And mm-hmm. I was downstairs for how it manifested. So to be honest, I don't even remember. I just knew it was going to happen, and I'm so glad he walked right into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was upstairs. I don't know if they showed my cheering either. I was upstairs having a solo dance party.
Hell yeah.
At any point during all this, did you ever get worried about the state of Vanessa's gameplay, like how dangerous she was? Like that has to be going through your mind, or are you just kind of like, oh yeah, she's on my
Oh yeah,
level?
I was worried about Vanessa the moment I brought 10 people up to the HOH room and convinced her she was starting this alliance. Because I had been working on Vanessa the first week, and what I told her in confidence, she went and told Austin, and Austin told Clay. So it's like, can't trust Vanessa. Things I keep telling her keep getting leaked, and I know it's coming from her because I only told her this, I think. And yeah, I just felt like I felt concerned about her from the beginning. And the thing with her is like, especially when you have a personal experience with her, like one-on-one, she oozes brilliance. Like it is just coming out of her pores. Like she's a pretty remarkable woman.
She's very confident.
Right. And I think it's difficult for her to even hide it sometimes herself. And I don't blame her because, now that I know her resume, she should be very proud of a lot of her accomplishments. And so when she was in the house, I don't understand why no one else thought into that. And what happened is when Shelly, can I move to when Shelly was in head of household?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When Shelly was head of household, they were still doubting me. And I was like, why are you still doubting me? What's going on here? And I mean, I might have said stuff. I think I did say stuff to James after the fact that Shelly threw me under the bus to Jason. She said she just effed up because she had no sleep. But come on. If it was Clay, she wouldn't have done it. She dated me and said, who do you want up? And I totally told her how I actually felt. And then she went and told the person. Like,
sure.
What the hell? Like, what kind of alliance is that?
Can I ask you, with Jason, why would you say Jason?
So Jace is out, Davon's out, Jeff is going out, and I'm just like, okay, there are only a few more time bombs that I know for a fact have been dragging my name through the mud, and one of them is Jason, and the other one is Becky, and then Meg is on my radar, but she's still kind of irrelevant because she sucks at everything. And so I was just like, Jason, he can run his mouth, he knows his game, he's got to be the target. Let's get him out. If I don't win HOH, Shelly won it. Maybe I can have an influence on her. And bye.
Was a relationship repair with Jason completely out of the question before this?
I tried, and it was genuine. I told Jason I was the Davo. I can't believe no one else did it, even though I knew no one else was going to do it. But I was like, God, the traitors, we can't trust anyone. And then he fucking went and ratted me out. Every person ratted me out. And I don't blame them because after that first week, I'm just the ultimate scapegoat.
Absolutely.
You should use me as a shield.
When Jason told Shelly that he didn't say that or whatever, and she came back to you and said, Jason says, it's a lie, blah, blah, why didn't you say, well, obviously he's lying to you, he doesn't want to get his game jeopardized, blah, blah, blah. Why wasn't just throwing back, well, obviously. Why wasn't that an option? Did you just feel like you'd been called out so many times that you were just lying? You were just drained at that point? What's going on?
Yeah, and my thought process was just like, I am really in a losing position here. Like, Shelly, the one person, she would be the last person, at least I would think, to get caught throwing me under the bus. And I would find out about it, especially out of her mouth. I'm like, I'm really screwed then because I know Clay isn't with me. I've already sold out Vanessa to Clay and Shelly. And, they were having reservations about me because they're like, why are you planting seeds of doubt about people in our alliance to me? And I'm like, I'm actually telling you the fucking truth for once. Listen to me. Listen to me. It was all legitimate. And it wasn't like we can't work with Vanessa right now. We can. But just so you know, she wants me to get you out sometime down the road. And
your story kind of has an interesting,
just like fuck.
Yeah, it was definitely you cried wolf too many times, and
it's like Shakespearean tragedy where it's like the time that you aren't like telling a lie, you're telling the complete truth, and that's when it all comes crashing down.
I know. I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't.
Absolutely.
Well, what's really bizarre about the whole thing away is like you kept the house so shook up that nobody knew exactly what was going on. They could always say, even if they got caught in some lie, they could basically be like, oh fuck, Audrey was lying to me. I guess like you were the scapegoat, and anything could be blamed on you the first like 3 weeks of the game, which shook a lot of people up. It had interesting effects on like people like James, who should have had a bigger part of the game, because with all the shuffle, his HOH, he got shook out, and he's just turned into like kind of, I don't mean this in a bad way, but just kind of like a goober that's trying to survive the house. It's a good social game because I think it will get him. I think it's going to be okay. But it shook that out. It's bonded Vanessa and Clay and Shelley. The trying to separate that stuff. So they got together with the common enemy being you, and really have bonded and formed a very strong, very strong three right there. So let's see. This week 4 is kind of interesting to talk about because there's not a lot of game past a certain point.
It's just theatrics.
It is, but okay. Jason, John. Let's see. Vanessa's going to win the POV. Was there any? You were toast at this point. You really were. When you go up against John. I asked you this before, and I want to, I set up kind of a framework of questions, and I want you to kind of talk within that. I'm not really asking specific questions. I'm trying to set the framework and trying to remind you of stuff because I know a lot of shit happens and your brain stays scrambled. But John, you knew that he was throwing Battle of the Block to get people nominated. You knew this kind of stuff. You could have talked to the other side of the house and say, listen, he's obviously got deals with Clay and Shelley and these people. He's working with the past HOHs. He's not really working for or with you. In fact, you're going to find yourself on the block against him at some point, and you're going to be fucked. You don't take this route, and this is interesting because when we talked earlier, you said it's basically you couldn't campaign against Johnny Mac. Talk to me about Johnny Mac's place in the house right now.
This is the thing. I did campaign against him. I went to James and I went to Jackie. I felt like those were the only two people I could. I said, there's an alliance. It's called Sixth Sense. It has these people in it. You going on the block was not a coincidence. They knew who was going on the block. Freaking Vanessa said, put up 4 people you don't give a shit about and let them fight it out and see what happens. And sorry, not sorry, but I was their scapegoat and now I have to jump ship. So let's go to battle. And that's not what happened. He ran his mouth, went right to them, and then once again, Audrey's alienated by the entire house, and I'm just like, fuck this. I'm going under my blanket, and I'm staying in the have-not room for the rest of the week.
Well, and you did. Shit,
you did.
A damn great job at it.
So we're in that last week. They showed James bringing an omelet and stuff, but him talking kind of really fucked you there. That was kind of would you say that's the nail in your coffin? What would be the nail in your coffin?
Saying anything to James.
Anything to James. Okay.
Honestly,
so this last week,
like the nail in the coffin was like there was nothing I could do. I even tried to really guilt trip Shelley one last time. Like I didn't know that she was concerned about the transgender thing or being the person to take out I don't know, me. And but I felt like I was trying to make her feel as uncomfortable as possible. So I guess it was working. And I didn't even know how well it was going to work. Because I was like, this is going to be the biggest betrayal ever. Like I was really trying to pull on those heartstrings.
Sure. And appealing to Shelley's emotional side is exactly what you have to do in this game. If she... That really is the way to approach her. Just like Austin this week, talking about I'm falling in love, blah blah blah. Like Shelley thinks it's sweet and it's stupid, but that's what Shelley thinks. So this is the thing with Shelley and you. It got to the point where I think she felt that you were just no matter what you were too big. To go
you have
on.
to re-say that again. Your microphone.
Well, did my audio mess up?
Yeah, your headset
I think Shelley really did search for a reason to keep you in the game, but I believe that she felt like you were too big a liability, too big a wild card, and when there was the opportunity, they had to snap on you. And honestly, dude, we said it all fucking that you were dangerous. You were a good person to get out because you could have, like right now, and I'm going to shout out at Cleo the Leo. She talks about if there's upstairs versus downstairs, which is the truth. You had all the dirt on the upstairs that could have united the downstairs, and they got you out before you didn't have enough clout to do it when you were on the block. if you'd survived another week or two, built back a little bit of trust, possibly through one reason or another, just a vote or two, you might have been able to do something with information you had. So you were very dangerous. It was a wise move to get you out. Really, Shelley had to do it, and it has been such smooth sailing for them since that. If obviously the fans are watching, they're noticing. People are saying there's not any drama, this kind of stuff. It's kind of getting boring. But if it's boring, it's because Shelley, Clay, and Vanessa are running the show. They've got out. They're getting out their speed bumps. The people that can rally the goobers downstairs. Right. So, and it's just it's a fact. It's brilliant. It's honestly, gameplay wise, it's so, as of right now, you could say it's seamless for a couple people playing. Let's now that we kind of talked, I want to talk about your going to the diary room for 5 hours. And
but does someone actually sit there and time it, or was it?
I remember sitting at my phone like, when is she coming out? When is she? I'm waiting for the updates.
They're an hour 30, 2 hours. Yes. Okay. Straight out, were you wanting to leave? Did you ask them if you could leave? Did you want them to leave?
No. Everybody, it's like a rite of passage to have a breakdown on Big Brother. Absolutely. All the greats do. Absolutely. Okay, I was just following the leader. Yeah. Okay. It was like, it's hard when you know for a fact you're going home, and the one person you could easily manipulate to keep you can't fucking manipulate to keep you, and you're
production.
It feels horrible, especially as a super fan. Like, this is my dream. And sure. Shelley just took a big old shit on it. And I have to sit here and smell it for the next few days. And sleep around it, and I'm just covered in it. And it's awful.
Yeah. Well, with all these back doors this season, with all the back doors, or, I won't say necessarily always back doors, but, the renom going home kind of a thing, you've got, 3 days of misery just sitting there. I mean, and they're long fucking days. People don't realize how long a Big Brother day is.
Exactly. So, it's a lot. You're under intense psychological discomfort. It's not a normal situation. Mm-hmm. And so in a normal situation, I go inwardly. I separate myself and I process things alone. And so I try to do that in the have-not room. And then fucking Becky brought me pizza. And I was like, okay, I shouldn't have done it. It could have been strategy on her part.
I don't think so.
I hope it was. She's going down as the greatest player.
That's one of the greatest moves ever.
She fucking got you good.
But okay.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's crazy.
Also, that mindset, like, I honestly forgot the penalty rule too. Mm-hmm. Like, it didn't occur to me that you can't do certain things. I knew I couldn't eat the food. Yeah. I did it. I have to own it. Yeah. It is what it is.
Well, you got a penalty vote. I mean, that's
better.
That's another history kind of thing.
I how to digest it, okay? Because I felt like shit, and so.
Well, shit.
You know what's fucking awesome?
Room and just took a fucking.
Well, one thing you did that was really kind of cool that I think is all super fans should keep this in mind if you ever get to play. For one, I want to say if you were following the greats for meltdowns, you set the bar very high and had an awesome one. But
something.
Yeah, but this is the thing that's awesome is no matter what the fuck you do, you can only get one penalty vote. You had lights off during the day sleeping, didn't go to a meeting, you ate, you didn't give a shit, hot showers, one vote. All you get. So if you go on there, what are they going to do to you? If you're going home and you're have-not, fuck it. One vote.
Enjoy.
No, don't do that.
Oh, shit. So when you were, I love the blanket over you and the glasses. That was, people were like they were posting pictures of them dressed up like that. I don't know what they called it, Audreying or something like that.
Hashtag blanketing.
Hashtag blanketing. Yeah.
That's so a blanket. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, super cool. For sure. That's Did you at any point were you honestly just going to lay there until the live show and go the fuck home, or did you have any Hail Mary? Was there anything in the tank left at that point in the game, or were you so mentally exhausted and emotionally exhausted that you were just like, let me get the fuck out of here?
Yeah, I was so mentally exhausted that I just was like, I have nothing left. but my goddamn musical. And I'm damned if I don't finish it. And so I did it twice.
Yeah, twice. Yeah. Thank you for the encore, by the way. Oh shit. Let's get. I want to talk to you about the
future.
Man, we've gone over your DR and okay. I want to. I do want to ask this question point blank. Was there any negotiations between you and production whatsoever in the diary room? Just straight up. Negotiations between you and production? Yeah. None. Okay.
The game is so fair, fans that are watching this. It's so fair. Absolutely. I can't even tell you. It's super fair.
The fact that they set up a thing very beginning, BB takeover, twist after twist after twist, all these twists. Your week, no fucking twist. Honestly, any twist that like everybody's waiting for a takeover that would save you. You know, really, because like I said, it was getting to the point Dave Vaughn had gone. Dave Vaughn was super entertaining. I mean, like you brought a lot of fire to the show, and it would have been completely understandable to keep you. I mean, you were like keeping at that point a Frank Udy or keeping like a Rachel Riley. You know, so as far as fan entertainment, 100%. So the fact that there's no twist to save you, it came as a shock to me. Did it come as a shock to you? Did you think that you could
honestly, 5 hours? I knew people were talking about the twin thing closer towards my demise, and I didn't realize till the very end like how much they knew. But I was like, okay, if there's going to be a pre-jury thing, it's going to be this week. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to babysit and contain Jace, and sequester for 5 fucking weeks. There's no way. He's got way too much fucking energy. This is the week. So I'm going to go out there, and Julie Chen is going to be like, surprise! And the choir's going to sing, and the fans are going to cheer or boo immensely, and then I'm going to fight my way back in, and then get Shelly and Clay right in the...
Well, I can say that I honestly think that there's a really good chance that you might be coming back in the near future, probably 18. I don't know.
Would you play again, Audrey?
Yes.
Why do you even ask that? Why do you even ask that?
I don't know. Production left me after ditching the veto meeting.
Oh, well, you're such an entertaining person. Evil Dick burned a girl with a cigarette.
I won't do it again.
It's 100% about...
I said that Evil Dick burned Jen with his cigarette. Like, I'm sure that, I mean, come on. You can get away with some stuff. I mean, as long as you're... What'd you say?
I was saying, for me, getting back has nothing to do with who plays great games, good games, last longer, whatever. It's purely about, for one, cast dynamics, but for two, audience reach, that kind of thing. And obviously, Audrey, I really think that you have a good chance.
Oh my God,
you're so very fucking entertaining. And that's honestly not just, that's not like...
Give it to them!
Well, I'm not, I mean, that's not, I don't kiss ass, honestly. I call a spade. But, in all honesty, I think that there was enough buzz around you that you, even though going out, pre-jury, you still got, you still made your mark. But let's hear, I want to hear what you think about certain people in the house, whether they're getting too much credit, not enough, that kind of thing. Let's talk about Shelly and Clay. Obviously, they set the pace and the tone of this whole season right now. If you want to go far, you've got to be sweet to Clay and Shelly. You can't talk about when to get them out.
I don't understand. I don't get it. Clay is the ultimate Kool-Aid salesman, and this Kool-Aid, it has special properties. It makes you a fucking idiot. You have people are in that house operating on between 1 and 5 brain cells, and if they just came together, they would have enough. They would have enough brain cells to do something about it, and they're not doing it, and I don't understand it.
Absolutely, it's
so
kind of shocking this week.
How do you see the relationship between Clay and Shelly? Like who's in charge? How do you view that?
Shelly is in charge. She is not aware. I think she knows she's in charge, but she's not a strong wear the pants wearer, because once he is out of that house, she is gonna lose all her marbles. Like, mine were all over the floor. Like, she's going to be cracking cameras. They're going to be bouncing everywhere. People are going to be hiding in the have-not room and putting blankets over their head because they don't know. They're not going to know how to deal with that.
I want it so bad. Yeah. I want to see that.
I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Vanessa. What thought? Give us your rundown of Vanessa. I know how she's been perceived outside the house. She's got ice water run through her veins. Tell us about it. I mean, she stumbled this week a bit, but I don't believe it's going to bite her. Go ahead.
She's brilliant. And honestly, like, even if the other side of the house teams up and targets her, Sixth Sense or whatever, or Dark Moon, I don't know. There's so many fucking alliances. If they target her, it won't. Unless Jason stayed, it's not going to be her. I feel like they're going to come for Clay and Shelly first, and then Austin is a big target. She has like a great shield,
insulated. Absolutely.
Yeah. And people don't really realize how much influence she's had over all of these people. She's really fucking good.
Absolutely.
She's just taken her deal. I regret it. That's one of my biggest regrets. Okay. I don't know if it was genuine. I feel like it actually was. But I don't know. She probably makes a lot of people feel that way. But if I would have just not opened my mouth to Clay and Shelly and just stuck with Vanessa and stayed by her, didn't question her integrity, and say she was working out with Steve and doing all these things and playing all these people, I don't know. I could have.
Now specifically, really what deal? Specifically, you said that you wish you'd taken her deal. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Was there? Okay. What just deal specifically, and how was it laid out? And what day was it roughly, if you can remember?
I don't remember specifically what day. It was like before. Yeah, it was before Shelly was head of household.
Okay. So towards okay.
Yeah, we had a conversation about why she was explaining to me that, would you take me the final two over Shelly? Because Shelly's not going to pick you over Clay, and I really think you can beat me. I don't care about the money. I think we could go to the end, have a fair fight, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, totally. No, because I felt like I had a way better shot at beating Shelly or Clay at the end than Vanessa. Because if I made it to the end, I just overcame the most extreme point of opposition in that fucking game. And Shelly is not going to be able to say anything. And Clay can barely spell his own name. So he's not going to be able to articulate any kind of speech at the end. And I felt like I had a way better shot beating both of them than Vanessa, the Duke graduate, poker player, DJ, amazing person, female Jesus.
Yes.
Female Jesus.
she's awesome. Well, and like, was that like you talked about earlier in the game that you suffer from the same affliction of Devon of worrying too far down the road? It sounds like you're in week 3 worried about not being able to beat Vanessa at the end.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I took her deal. Listen, she gave me the deal, and then I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to solidify trust with Clay and Shelly, and they're going to stop fucking questioning me. And I told them what Vanessa said. They didn't believe me. They believed her. Mm-hmm. And then we got in this huge argument. Clay was like, you're a fucking liar. And I'm like, leave me alone. And
no,
I'm not a liar. Yeah. And it just went spiraling back down to rock bottom.
Just remember, it's going to be really fun to throw it back in their faces when they're outside the game, and you can be like, remember, dumbasses, you shouldn't have went with her. You should have got her ass out.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's always fun.
Right before the eviction ceremony, look, I'm allowed to be bitter about this. I'll get over it, but I want you to know that I'm an I told you so person.
That's amazing.
I'm going to put her on the shoulder and say, I told you.
And you reserve the right to do so. Absolutely. With the twins, you didn't know about it for the longest time. We're going to kind of try to start wrapping it up. But I do want to hear your take on the twins, why you think they were allowed in the house. I was on Evil Dick, and I talked in his podcast the other day about why the fuck would they let twins come in the house when you can just take care of one. Now, I know obviously you weren't in Sixth Sense Alliance, but the idea of keeping the twins, like, I mean, what are your thoughts? Now that when you found out all about that, just talk about twins.
I think that they're underestimating the twins. Like, I said it from the beginning. I felt like there's something about Liz/Julia that they're not just the blonde that you see, like with the deep raspy voice. Like there's more to that person, and I don't know what it is, because she's a great communicator. And one of them straight looked in my eyes and lied about a conversation that they had in the have-not room when I brought Austin and one of them and Davon into the hammock room to confront each other. And she didn't blink once.
Okay.
And so I feel like they're underestimating those twins. And Vanessa, I think I think she's in a great spot, making Austin feel like he has to repent for something. And the twins, I'm really on your side, and da-da-da. And Clay and Shelley also think that Vanessa's their final three. I don't know. I think the twins are a little bit better off than people in the house perceive them. I just talked a lot. Did I answer your question?
No, you did, and that's you really kind of hit the nail on the head. And it's one thing that I've been thinking about, that the whole house is not. I don't think they're really putting together. I don't think Austin is. I don't think Vanessa is, or Clay and Shelley, because this is an interesting thing. Julia's got more game than Liz. I know that you don't know who you were talking to at different times, but could you tell that one was more engaged in the game than the other?
No.
Was there any? Okay. From fans watching, I think they feel like Julia's got more game. Liz is basically the whole game is to play Austin, and that's really about it. But this is what's interesting about the twins. Everybody talks about twin connections and all this kind of weird shit and whatever. But this is the thing. They've been working, playing, meet in the diary room, talk to you later. Meet in the diary room, talk to you. I mean, they've been doing this. Once they get together and are playing together, who knows what they're capable of doing in the house, sharing information on a minute-by-minute live. I mean, like, they could get in there and be like, you go talk to this person, da-da-da. I mean, like, there's no telling what, when they get together.
And
when you actually get Liz and Julia together, what can happen? What?
They are competitors. Or I don't know if one of them won both of those comps. I think Julia won HOH, right?
I don't know, because I've been kind of curious. Like, does one of the twins just get to play every single competition? Because that would suck. I
don't know. I don't think so.
But they are competitors too. And yes, I think that they're going to go in there, and I don't know. People should have kept me in.
I do think it was Liz because of Austin being in the bed, but I'm not sure about dates in relation to Austin finding. I don't know. I can't say. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure that out. But anyway, we've about covered it all. We do need to wrap it up.
What's your final prediction? Who's going to win this? Who's going to take this sucker home?
I think Vanessa has a great shot. She's in a good position as long as she doesn't fuck it up and get her. She's got her hands in a lot of pies, and that can get really, really messy. So as long as she's, keeps doing what she's doing, I think she has a great shot. She's smart enough. She's a competitor. Like, she's proven that multiple times, and she's not someone, I don't know, that I wish I crossed. So I think Vanessa.
Who do you want to win? Is it also the same as Vanessa? Or?
Yeah, I think I want to root for her, like on a fan level.
Okay.
But if it's not her, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow one of the twins made it.
Okay. Excellent.
All right. Well, I mean, do you have anything to plug?
What's next for you? What's next?
Yeah, what's next?
You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, ODDREYM. There might be some other fake profiles. If you feel like following them, you can. But it's not.
Is that your handle and everything? ODDREYM?
Yep, ODDREYM. That's me.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Give kids the world. Everyone's got to go donate. Show some love from.
You're going to give kids the world?
I am.
Right on. Good. I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm glad you're going.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
A lot of fun people there.
Right on. Well, Audrey, thank you so much for giving us your time and talk about your game. You were tons of fucking fun to watch. I've got lots of fans. I know you're feeling lots of love outside the house. And it's a crazy ride that we're glad to be able to talk to you, talk about your game, and share this with you. This is it's one of those welcome to BB family things. This is a fun thing for us.
I can't do that one.
I'm excited to be a part of the group.
Oh yeah, you're gonna fit in nicely.
I did want to throw it out there really fast. So my friend Dalton was on the show. He spoke in my package, and McCrae got to meet him. He's here, but. What's funny is about orgs, he plays them, and he has been in the other room competing. Challenge. And the challenge is they have to wear a blindfold and have a pillowcase over their head. And it's an endurance competition, and he's going to be doing that all night.
Can he come in here right now, and can we look at him? It's okay if we can.
Sure. I would love to see it. That'd be funny.
I can go run really fast.
Go check, and then we can do our plugs.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do our plugs. We do that. All right, McCrae, what do you got?
I've got. You can check me out on Twitch. I'll probably be there tomorrow. Just a lot of Twitch stuff. I got some more stuff planned, and here we go.
Oh, this is like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Dude, this is fun.
You got it,
this
brother.
is like Blair Witch.
Stay strong.
You got it. Keep doing.
Stay strong. Solidarity.
Oh gosh, McCrae and Spencer are
Look
watching.
who he's competing with.
Oh my God,
Wow.
who is that?
Wow, everybody, how's it going, guys?
Somebody's
Stay
out.
strong, everyone.
Look at all the bags over their head.
Solidarity.
Dude, this looks
This is
crazy
extreme.
shit, really.
Extreme.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's so
This
cool.
looks like this is a snuff video. Like I'm watching, what's it, 8mm with Nick Cage?
Yeah. Amazing.
All right.
I suggest superfans get into them.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
everyone.
that's-
Do you have
I-
a
I-
website that you wanna that's your favorite or?
Yeah, you guys look up on Facebook a group called Pro Survivor. It's one word, and then there's another one called All About Orgs.
Okay.
ORGS.
Excellent,
And that's
excellent.
it.
I think this is awesome. I didn't know this existed like that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody that gets into these kind of things, I'm 100,000% a fan of. I think it's really great. I think it's so
Super cool.
So,
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Yeah.
Spencer, what do you got to plug?
As far as plugging, follow me at Spencer B. Clausen. Follow our podcast Twitter. It's at On the Block Pod. Go there and follow us there. We'll get you. That's where the first links get sent out to when we build them for these to watch. So at On the Block Pod. Make sure you subscribe. Give us the thumbs up and show Audrey lots of love in the comments. We really appreciate it. And Audrey, I'm going to put you on the spot right now, but will you please come back and be on the block to just do like a weekly recap or something like that for the end of the season?
Totally.
Absolutely. Excellent.
Hell yeah,
excellent,
hell yeah.
excellent.
All right.
We love it.
Right on.
Thanks. Take us out.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone. We had a whole ton of people. 300 and something. We maxed out at 337, maybe somewhere around there. Just thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to watch On the Block podcast. We really appreciate it, but we most importantly appreciate our guest, Audrey. Thanks for taking your time and being with us.
And Audrey, don't hang up when we hang up. We'll still be here. So goodbye.
All right, and thank you guys all, and we'll catch you next time on the block, place where you don't want to be. Take care and bye bye.